You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Good morning, I am Glenn the Geek, coming to you for the last time from Ocala, Florida.
Oh, I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma, and I feel like I'm stuck here forever. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Wednesday, July 10th, episode 3472. Good morning, horse people.
Hello, Horse World. It's Wednesday, the day you start daydreaming of a weekend with your horses. We'll help you get there with more silly horse talk on Horses in the Morning.
Well, that's right. We do have some silly horse talk for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get it caught up. Jamie and I haven't talked to each other in a week, and we haven't talked to you together in a week. So we're gonna chat a little bit. We're gonna also talk about what's going on here as far as our move is concerned. We have Dr. Jones is going to discuss the essential first aid kit items that every horse owner should have. That's as a result of an auditor asking what should be in her first aid kit. And do we have weird news?
Just a few.
Okay. And unfortunately, no post show today because I'm very limited on time because we have to start packing our pod today. So now you're back from your weekend, obviously not the weekend that anybody wants to do. How'd it go?
Oh, it's awful. It is awful. So, I mean, nobody prepares you for burying your mother. I'm cried out at this point, so I can talk kind of like because last night I just lost it again. But it is just awful. And you know what? I think one of the really hard parts of that is nobody tells you how to, you have to shop for an outfit for it. I cried the entire way through Target, buying an outfit, you never think about that. And then getting there and, for my mom's service, we thought it'd be 3 or 4 of us. And every family member showed up from Texas and Virginia and
Really?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes, it was wonderful. And it just made me more sad because you realize how much my mom would have loved to be there, to see all those people. So anyway, it was heartbreaking and tremendously terrible and awful. And it was lovely to spend time with family that I haven't seen in years and years. So, I mean, yeah, it sucked. It just sucked. How about that? Then that's enough of that.
All right. Very good. Well, we'll get on with the show and I'll talk about some other...
Thank you for asking.
Well,
Sorry.
I haven't even talked to you. So
I told you, I have 2 more weeks of being an a-hole and then I'm going to be okay. But I need 2 weeks. And I told my husband last night.
We need 2 more weeks?
Yeah. No, two more weeks.
You said that 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to clarify.
I know. I underestimated. I said I was going to be an a-hole for 2 weeks, but it turns out 2 more.
Can I write that down in with ink, or should I put that in pencil?
You can go ahead and mark that down in ink.
Okay, good.
I'm telling you what, it's a mess. But I'm gonna be awesome someday again. I lost track of time this morning because I was riding Ace. All that is the horses are gonna bring me back to the real world and everything. But yeah, I Chad last night. I was like, listen, I get you be an a-hole for 2 more weeks. And I could see his wheels turning just like yours did, which was, you said that 2 weeks ago. Listen, get 2 more. Sorry. Carry on.
Well, let's do that. Let's carry on. And then I'll whine a little bit after Daily Winnies. Well, there's a lot of birthdays, auditor birthdays, and that's partly because I tried to go through all the way through next Wednesday. We're going to have a best of on Friday and Monday with us moving and everything, and you're going to be out next week. We'll talk about that. So I tried to get all the birthdays I can. I apologize if I missed anybody, but happy birthday to Karen, Joy, Jessica, Emily, Katie, Heather, Hazel, Erin, Danielle, Linda, Michelle, and Nan. Happy birthday to all of you.
Happy birthday.
That's a lot of birthdays.
First of all, Daily Winnie goes out to my friend Brooke Lazzarini. She knows why. But the other part of this, Daily Winnie, is I would like to now entitle this. This was sent to me as a weird news story, but I thought it just needed to be at the top of the show. And I would like to get a sounder because I would like this to become a segment. Glenn, I've got an idea for a new segment. I know you love it when I come up with that. And this segment is going to be called What Could Possibly Go Wrong?
That just sounds like a disaster in the making, actually.
I mean, how many times do we see something like this? So now, if any of you ever see something that says what could possibly go wrong, then that is that's what I know. And Janelle was the one who kind of inspired this because of the weird news story that she sent me. And I just want to let everybody know the great news here in Oklahoma and in Alabama. This is awesome. Automated vending machines have recently been installed inside several grocery stores across Oklahoma and Alabama. Would you like to take a guess what these vending machines are selling?
I'm trying to go with Oklahoma and Alabama, and I'm coming up with things I probably shouldn't.
Okay,
So-
well, bullets. They're now having...
Yeah, I would not have guessed that, actually.
The machines, created by a company called American Rounds, offer ammo to be purchased without having to engage a store clerk. They're accessible 24/7, ensuring that you can buy ammunition on your schedule, free from the constraints of store hours and long lines, according to the company's website.
I have guns, and I've never had an emergency situation where I needed a bullet.
If you do have an emergency situation where you need a bullet, you probably shouldn't be able to find one immediately.
Well, and I probably shouldn't. I probably don't have time to go to the store to the vending machine either. So, yeah. Okay.
Who knows? What if you're about, like, you see a giant bear in the parking lot of a Walmart and you're like, oh my God, I need a bullet right now for this gun that I have in my pocket that's not loaded. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me drop in a couple quarters to this machine here and go ahead and pop out some bullets, and then I can shoot the bear.
Yet, as a 60-year-old, I have to wait until the little lady comes over to the self-checkout to say I'm old enough to buy a wine cooler.
I got carded the other day and I was like, listen, okay, I'm from the 1900s.
You got carded? That must have made you feel good.
No, it just makes me mad. I'm like, you're lying to me and yourself right now, okay?
I think they're supposed to card under 40 or something in some states. So you might look like you're under 40. I would go with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It just makes me mad. I'm like, I'm from the 1900s. I don't need to be carded.
Isn't that weird to say that? And it sounds old. It does when you say it that way.
There's a 1 in my birth year.
When you say it that way, it does sound old. So
It's
we got a
awesome.
call the other day. Nobody wants. So the pod is showing up today. We're loading that up. It's going to be delivered to the farm on Friday, and then we're going to be living in the living quarters horse trailer at the boarding stable. And you know how big our living quarters horse trailer is, and we're probably going to be in it for 4 to 6 weeks.
It's not big.
No,
It's not.
no. And we'll have it set up in the back where I record from, like I did on the road trips. But we've done it before, so I guess we can do it again. But the well company, or the construction guys, called and said, we just dug our second well down 250 feet, and we haven't found any water. We're going to have to move to a third spot. How
No
can you not
way.
find water in Florida? That's my question.
They don't just keep going. They're like, up, let's move to another
Apparently,
spot.
There's some indication. I don't know. I tried questioning this, but I don't know if I got a real answer or not. But because I'm going through a third party to get the answer, the general contractor guy. And they said they didn't find any evidence of water. So apparently when they go down that deep in Florida and they don't find any evidence, then they have to move. Well, the thing is, you're paying for them to start over every time they start over. You don't get credit for what they already dug in the previous 2 holes. So now our bill is up
It's their mistake.
our
their
bill is up
fault.
to 15 to 20 grand.
Oh my God.
I know. It's just a nightmare. But I was like, we're going to need another loan just to get water at this rate.
So
It's crazy.
question for you. So are they filling in the holes that they're digging?
Well, yes, and I was wondering about that too because they put this metal sleeve down in the hole so the hole doesn't collapse when they're digging it. So there's this metal sleeve that must go down 250 feet. How do they pull that out? I don't know if they pull it. I guess they pull it out.
I would really make sure. I would ask a lot of questions because I feel like this is a potential baby Jessica situation again. I don't know. I'm
No,
just so
it's
nervous
not big enough
about
for
the
that.
well.
You could fit a chihuahua down that hole. It's only about 6 inches wide. They're not very big. It's not the kind of well you're thinking about.
There's going to be a horse that how many horse rescue stories have we read over these last 14 years?
Not even a
Glenn?
mini's going to fit in that hole. We'll be fine there.
I don't know.
So there we
We've
got
seen
that.
some weird stuff. God, that sucks. I'm so sorry.
We got that. So hopefully, eventually, we'll be moving into the house. And then I have my annual cancer doctor visit today. So all of this is happening at the same time, just like for you. But so everybody wish me luck there. This is just they do a complete scan of my torso to see if there's anything new, and we just hope there's nothing new. So hopefully that's the result today. And then you're heading out to. I mean, it's a month for the two of us. You're heading out to Colorado.
I am. I'm leaving on Sunday and I'm going to head up to the Maytag Mountain Ranch and I get to go visit with Zeus and I get to go visit with Billy and all the other horses up there. And so I guess it's kind of like a clinic situation. All the owners of the homes in this ranch, they all ride and they booked me to come for the week and just spend time with people and help them with their riding and their horses. And last summer, I gave lessons and I took people out on rides and just talked horses basically, which is kind of my favorite thing. And this time they have almost every owner they heard about last summer and now they're all coming this summer. And I guess one person was like, I don't really need a horse trainer to help me. I mean, these aren't even my horses. And the guy at the ranch said, no, she's not a horse trainer. She's not going to train your horse to be better for you. She's going to train you to be better for your horse. So technically, she's more of a people trainer. And I was like, oh my God, I'm putting that on a business card.
You need a shirt.
I know. Hi, I'll train you to be better for your horse.
That's a good line, actually. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that too. So we're really excited. And I mean, because it's a 3,000 acre ranch in Colorado. And I mean, it's wide open space.
So you get to go trail riding in Colorado for a week? That sounds torturous.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It sounds so awful. But Chad and Lucas come with me too, and they basically have a vacation while I work. You're welcome. So we're bringing the horse trailer. They're putting their motorcycles in it. They're going to bring their guns because they have a shooting range. They have trail. I mean, it's just
fishing's probably great too.
Fishing everywhere. It's basically like a grown-up summer camp. So we go and they have boys time and hopefully they camp and leave me alone for a little while. Go. And so it's like a super fun trip for the family. And then I just do horses all day. And again, I can't complain because it's awesome. And then I'll get to take Zeus in the pond again and it'll be fun.
It would be good to see Zeus again too. Hey, I assume he's been staying in. He hasn't been escaping on a regular basis.
Well, again, last time we went, I asked TJ, who runs the farm, and I was like, has he escaped at all? And he was like, no, he's totally fine. Everything has been fine. And then Chad asked the barn help, and he was like, that horse gets out all the time and lets all of them out with him. So I was like, okay.
So it wasn't just you.
No, it's not just me. I mean, because when I saw the clips, I was like, these are not going to work. Yeah, they'll be fine. He's fine. Everything's fine. So as a man, he can't tell me that he was wrong.
That you were right and he was wrong.
Yeah,
funny.
but he wouldn't tell me. But the barn help told Chad. Oh yeah, that horse gets out all the time, and he lets all of them out too. I was like, awesome.
Nothing changes. Nothing changes.
Chad will be very happy to see Zeus, and then he'll be very happy to leave Zeus.
Well, I wanted to remind everybody that State Line Tack, if you go to statelinetack.com, they give away prizes every month, kind of like we do with really bad ads. And you can anybody can sign up. You head on over to State Line Tack, you go to their prize banner. And in July, this month's prize is a Perry's gift pack valued at $400. It includes a Western leather handbag, a wrist bracelet, a credit card holder, a show halter. They have the nicest show halters, Amish made show halters, a head stall, all kinds of stuff. So Perry's is great stuff. They're high quality. They're made in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and made by the Amish. I remember when Perry's first started, we were at the first show where they showed up. And of course, being from there, I got talking to her, and I knew the I knew the leather place where she got all of this stuff made, and so we've been kind of friends ever since. So Perry's is great stuff, and you can win it free, $400 value. Head on over to statelinetack.com. Well, this Horse Health Report is brought to you by Daily Dose Equine, non-GMO core nutrition for horses and ponies of all ages. One of our auditors, Hillary, asked about what should be in her first aid kit, and then I remembered that we talked about that with Dr. Erin Denny Jones, one of our favorite doctors to have on. She's right down the road from me here in Florida. And she went over the essential first aid kit items that every horse owner should have and know how to use. That's also important. And I thought I would replay that for you. This was from back in COVID year 2020, but it's really good information. And I hope it helps you out, Hillary, and everybody else that needs to get their first aid kit together.
Good morning, Dr. Jones. It's Jamie and Glenn. You're on the air. How the heck are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys doing?
Great. We're so happy to have you on. And we were just reminiscing about how long it's been since you've put up with us, probably, about 10 years. So, I mean, that's amazing.
I enjoy it.
Fantastic. Well, we are going to talk today a little bit about, I like how we're kind of getting back to the basics here because we've picked your brain about everything. I want to get to like the bottom of like the easiest stuff that we can do medically as horse owners to make your job easier. And what we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about today is first aid items that every horse owner should have on hand and know how to use. So take us through the list. I'm getting a pen and I'm going to write it all down.
Well, make it easier. I do have a list on my website that might make it easier for you. That way tell our clients to download or take a look at and fill their box. My ultimate, believe it or not, number one favorite item in a first aid kit is a thermometer.
Mm-hmm.
I have had more often than not recently, especially in the heat in Florida, have people call up and say, my horse is colicking. I gave it some Banamine. It's not doing any better. It's really lethargic, but it's not doing that rolling thing. And I said, do you have a thermometer? Oh, yeah. Take its temperature, 103, 104. It's overheating. It wasn't even colicking. The horse was just overheating. So thermometer it will save you. It will save you a lot of headache and a lot of worry. So now, digital rectal thermometer from Walgreens or some sort of pharmacy will work just fine.
That was my question are those digital ones that you get for $6 at the CVS, are they accurate enough? Are they worth it?
Yes, because if they've got a fever, it's going to read it. If they are average, it's going to probably read low. Okay. And they never get hypothermic. Those poor horses up in the Arctic they're not the Arctic, but Canada standing out in the snow, they're not getting hypothermic. They're fine. They got coats on them. They're doing great out there. It's rare that you see a hypothermic animal unless it's a neonatal foal or a young foal. They definitely can't thermoregulate well. The adult horses, it's a fever you got to worry about. So if your digital thermometer reads 97.9, don't think they're chilly and you got to put a blanket on them. It's just you didn't get a proper reading.
What is the normal for a horse?
Normal is between 99 and 100, 100.9, they say. Here in Florida, we can see it go up to 101 and change because a dark horse standing out in the pasture eating will absorb a lot of heat in, and they'll be like 101.2, 101.3, and that's really not a fever. It's just they're a little bit overheated, need to probably get in the shade for a little bit. That's all.
Okay.
Question about you mentioned that you get a phone call from a client. Hey, my horse is colicking. I gave it Banamine. How does that make you feel when they say they've already medicated it?
Oh, we're off into a different subject here, but it's usually from clients that I have trusted that I've given out the Banamine to. And I know that might sound a little bit, negative to some people, but I have a very strong conversation the very first time I hand Banamine out to a new client or a client that has asked for it that I've known for years and said, these are my rules. I'd like to know when you give it, not because I'm coming out and I'm going to charge you money, not because I'm going to charge you money for the phone call. I want to know when you have a problem, because if that Bandamine's not working in an hour, we need to make another decision, whether I'm coming out, you're doing something different, you're hauling into me, whatever it is. We are not going to wait 3-4 hours. It's still not getting better. We're going to add more Bandamine on top of that and add more Bandamine on top of that. No, we're not having that situation. We are having a strong conversation that it's used once, and if it doesn't work, you call me.
Gotcha. I mean, I just remember as a vet tech, it would be so frustrating because a horse that was having a lot of problems, they would call us and they're like, we just gave it Bandamine, but come on out. And then you get out there and you're like, what am I looking at? Because they don't have, their fever's down, all of the things are working. And then it's more difficult to diagnose what actually was happening with the horse in the first place because the Bandamine is masking it. Okay.
Exactly. And especially if they're given more than one dose. Most of my clients, they'll give a small dose, but they won't even give a full dose because they're nervous about giving it. But a lot of them will call me before they give it. They're like, we're having this problem. Should we go ahead and try the Bandamine? I'm like, go ahead and try it. If it's not any better here in the next 30 to 60 minutes, give me a holler back. We're going to go down a different road. But they've already taken the temperature because they know that's the first question out of my mouth. What is the horse's temperature? So they'll call me and say, took the horse's temperature. It's 99.9. But it's not wanting to eat its meal. What do I do? Can I give the Bandamine? So I've tried to, over 25 years, get them trained per se. You want to call that.
I love it. I love that you're taking the time to educate them and not just passing it out. So the temperature is the first thing that we need in our kit. What is the next thing?
Oh, and by the way, it's a rectal digital thermometer that gives you a clue of where to take the temperature. New horse owners don't have a clue. So yes, be very careful. Have 2 people. Stand with your back to the person holding the horse in case the horse kicks you. Stand close to the horse. And I always tell people wear a glove if they want to, and they can kind of touch around the little anus area so that they don't get kicked and the horse knows what's coming. I scratch the tail head to get them to lift their tail up. They might pass a little gas. Of course, when they pass the gas, it's going to decrease your temperature a little bit, but not if they got a fever. It's not going to decrease it enough. They're going to show you a fever. And 102 or more is what I get really concerned about.
One advantage to being a horse husband is I just say, that's one thing horse husbands don't do. And I'm out.
You can hold the horse.
That's what I do. I hold the front end. Yep. That's right.
So then my next favorite thing to have, granted in my list, the second thing is stethoscope, but not a lot of people know how to use them, and that's fine. And not a lot of people can get to them. My next favorite thing to have in a first aid kit is wraps, because of lacerations, cuts, because those are the next most common thing horses get into, is into a fence, into a kicking match, into something off of a trailer. So I recommend that people get those toolboxes that have the little tray on the top, but they have the big cavity underneath, and that big cavity underneath can hold 4 quilt leg wraps, 4 standing wraps, 4 rolls of 4-inch vet wrap, a roll of cotton. They really can hold that if you get the right size toolbox. And those are items that you're going to need to wrap a bleeding wound. You can get the gauze pads. You can get the non-adhesive gauze pads. You can get the gauze rolls, all those things to hold the bandage on. But the primary thing to stop bleeding is having a quilt wrap and standing wraps and vet wrap and roll cotton. You just keep adding it on top of each other. If the bleeding is severe, just keep adding on top. You never take a bandage off when you have severe bleeding, because then you've just opened up and taken the clot away. So you always add on top the bandage. And I always say do a quilt or cotton first, then a vet wrap or a standing wrap. If that doesn't work, do another quilt or cotton again, and a vet wrap or standing wrap on top of that. So you just keep adding on top while you're waiting for the vet to come out.
Interesting. So you just keep building. You never pull it off because you've already got something happening under there. So you just keep adding to tighten it until the vet gets there. Fascinating.
Right. It's always heavy pressure. Yeah.
That's a really good thing to have, like one of those just go bags for bleeding. Yeah. The bloody go bag. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
What else is there?
So I named off those things. So just for simple wounds, you can handle these on your own. You've learned how to roll your bandages from your vet, or you've done a little first aid course, or you were in day camp where I taught them how to do bandaging. Is some antibiotic ointment. I'm a fan of the Neosporin ointments that you have in your house. There's easy ones to put in those little carry cases. The Novosan ointments, or they're called chlorhexidine ointments. Those are great. Nitrofurazone. We can use that in some wounds. So some sort of antibiotic ointment for smaller wounds that you can put on there, and you can wrap them again with the bandage material you've got in there and keep it clean. The other way of keeping it clean that I like to have in my first aid kit is sterile saline. And they have those spray sterile salines, or they have sterile saline washes for your eyes, for your contact lenses. You can get those and use those to spray out wounds and get the dirt and debris. Worst case scenario, always use a hose. They've shown in the medical journals that tap water doesn't really have, that's perfectly fine to use on an initial wound to get all the dirt and debris off of it. It's not going to cause a lot of bacterial infection by just rinsing with tap water. But if you want to stay sterile, you can do the sterile saline wash or a sterile saline spray that they're at all the drugstores. And you just put one of those cans in there or one of those little bottles in there.
That's awesome to know that, because you can get them where they shoot out just a tiny little stream because they're for contact lenses, but you can spray a wound out. That's a great idea. Now, I am glad to know that the hose is not going to introduce bacteria into a wound, considering I drink out of the hose about 10 times a day. So that's probably good.
I do too. I'm still a kid at heart.
I'm thirsty. I need a hose.
Well, some people would be worried it's over a joint, and if they're all concerned, they don't want to put a hose on it. Those sterile saline eye washes and sterile saline sprays are perfect for those areas.
All right, good. Okay, we've got that. Now, anything else that we need to have?
Yep.
But I do love having a
bacterial
stethoscope.
Solution.
Okay.
The stethoscope is good to have, but let's get to finish on the wounds and say the antibacterial solutions, like I think they're called Povidone, and you'll see on the blue bottles and Walgreens and CVS and Rite Aid and all those other ones, and betadine or even chlorhexidine. And I don't like to use them straight. I always dilute them out in the sterile salines, or you can just dilute them in a water bottle. Take a sip out of your little, pint water bottle. Take a quick sip out of there, put a little bit in there, make a weak tea look with the betadine or a sky blue color with the chlorhexidine. And that's enough of a disinfectant. You do not have to use it straight. And in fact, it can be cytotoxic, meaning killing cells if you use it straight. So dilute it out and use that to clean the wounds out as well. And the vet will be thrilled you did that before they got there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. God, I got a shopping list. You're making me a nervous wreck.
And then, of course, I threw on there diapers. Like people like to do the diapers for the hoof wrap. I like cotton a little better, but diapers are easy to have. You can use the little white tape bandage or elasticon, 4-inch elasticon. Those are great extras to have. But the primary things I have listed at the very top, basically 1 through 12. I did add duct tape in as my number 13 item. It's great for like the hoof to put something on the toe area. I can't keep it in my truck. It gums up so bad. So that's something I'd have to keep in my house or in the refrigerator because I just can't use it. But it's good to have around and on hand for that. And then I've had, and this does not fit into your toolkit, but I have tools to pull shoes. How many times do you get a horse that steps off the trailer, clips itself, pulls a shoe up, steps down right on the clip? That happens at almost every horse show. And if you had your own tools to just pull that shoe off, you could soak that foot and probably carry on without a shoe at that show, unless they had the farrier there. So, there's just, or you get out to go for a trail ride, pull it off, and then carry on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because those shoes that are hanging halfway off can be pretty damaging if they're, leaning towards the inside of the horse's, the medial side of the horse's leg. So just, that is a good thing to have for sure.
Yeah. And then the last thing I have is prescription meds, and that I leave up to you and your veterinarian. And I believe that an eye ointment, bar none, should definitely be in your toolbox, as well as bute. But it's up to your vet about Banamine, penicillin, sulfa, SMZ tabs, whatever. That's between you and your veterinarian and a relationship you have with your veterinarian. But I think an eye ointment like the terramycin you can get over the counter or a triple antibiotic you get from your vet, I don't see any worry about dispensing those out. Yeah. No steroid in it, just the 3 antibiotics, and then a non-steroidal like a bute.
Gotcha. Fantastic. Well, I was just looking through your website, floridaequine.com, and there is a whole section called Client Forms. And it's, things from colic checklist, broodmare nutrition, hurricane preparedness, general care of your horse, timeline for the first 24 hours after birth, a newborn full care. This is such a great educational website. Again, you guys, it's floridaequine.com. You can read all of these things. And they've also got, if you missed any of these, writing them down that Dr. Jones mentioned, Equine Emergency First Aid Kit is in the list of Client Forms.
Well, Jamie, first aid kits are one of those things that you you get this urge one day because probably your horse got hurt and you don't have anything together. Then you get it together and then you start using things out of it and then you forget to replenish it. Are you that way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or here's my thing is like, I put this big first aid kit together and I'm going to put it in my trailer and then I go where I need to go and then I forgot it at the barn. So that's more like what I would do.
I know Jennifer tries to go through hers, and this is a good plan. You probably should do it every 6 months or a year. Go through it and replenish everything that you've used out of it.
I got this big, like, giant, like, Ryobi, like, what's the toolbox thing, like stackable toolbox. So I have like 2 things, and that I'm pretty good about it now.
The thing you use out of it is the damn vet wrap, because you run out at the barn, then you dig into your first aid kit and the emergency supplies, and then you forget to replace it there.
That's true.
Vet wrap is the thing that just
I run out of diapers. Diapers, man. I forget about the diapers. I don't buy diapers anymore, but you need to buy diapers to help your horses if you've got a thing,
That's right.
Annoying.
I was hoping it was for the horses. I wasn't sure.
They're not adult diapers, Glenn.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. You do long road trips. I didn't know how you got through.
That's actually pretty smart.
There was a great article on this topic too. Practical Horseman Magazine did an article. I'll put a link on Equestrian First Aid Essentials, and they had great lists in all the different categories you should have the items, but it has a checklist, and it was really extensive. So I'll put a link to that if you want to print it out. It'd be a good thing to print out and keep handy. They did a great job with it. So I found that this morning. I thought I'd put that in there as well. Well, let's hear from Daily Dose and also Ride TV, and we're going to come back with some weird news.
I'm here with the mad scientist who developed Daily Dose equine horse feeds, Janet Geyer, and I wanted to have a quick chat with you because Daily Dose equine horse feed are non-GMO whole food nutrition based. And a lot of people go, oh, that comes from a small dedicated feed mill. I won't be able to get that when I travel. They're wrong, aren't they?
They are. You can get it through Chewy anywhere in the United States. Or if you live locally in Maryland and Northern Virginia, you can get it delivered.
There you go. Chewy.com. It will deliver it anywhere you want. You can also schedule delivery in advance so you can have it delivered every X number of days. And you can go in there to your account and change it every time you move horse show venues. So check it out today, dailydoseequine.com online or chewy.com.
You can enjoy your favorite equine videos all in one place with Ride TV, the ultimate equine streaming platform. The newly relaunched Ride TV has all the series you love, like mini horses and ridiculous ranches, plus top-tier training videos and event footage from Horse and Rider On Demand and BarrelRacing.com. Live the action, learn from the pros, love the stories. Subscribe to Ride TV today for only $19.99 to see where your ride takes you. Visit ridetvgo.tv to subscribe.
Time to learn why some days you're embarrassed to be part of the human race. In Jamie's Weird News.
It's not my weird news. It's your weird news. Because I ask you guys, if you are ever looking through the news, wherever you get it, and you see something and you're like, that's super weird, email it to me, jamie@horseradionetwork.com with weird news in the subject line. Just like Delia, Michelle, Janelle, Laureen, Charlotte, Sandrine, Carrie, and Sarah all did. I appreciate all of you. Hopefully I didn't forget any. It's been a heck of a week. But I thank you all for sending me these weird news stories. Now, this is funny, Glenn. I was in the airport yesterday, and
you and about a million of your friends.
Monday. Oh my God, it was crazy. And so I was listening to the speakers, and I just started cackling because the people that are calling for flights, English may not be their first language. And even if it is, they still screw things up. And there was a flight going to Arkansas. All right, now boarding. Gate 2, Arkansas. Arkansas.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
I don't know, but I thought it was so funny. So now I want to call it Arkansas. And we're going to go to Jonesboro, Arkansas or Arkansas right now. And I know one of our listeners lives in Jonesboro. And I am so excited to tell you guys that, there's good moms out there. There's good moms, Glenn. And when I say there's good moms, they go the extra mile to make their children comfortable and happy. And so what this mom did was she was visiting her son in juvenile detention in Jonesboro, and she wanted to go the extra mile, and he wanted some snacks. Okay. And so what did she do? At the Craighead County Juvenile Detention Center, she walked up to the vending machine, slammed it up against the wall, back-fisted it, busted it, and grabbed a bunch of snacks out of it for her baby, okay? She is a mom who goes the extra mile. Turns out she's now in prison, too.
She didn't get Mother of the Year award for that?
Jessica Lynn Williams, 37, arrested for smashing the glass of a candy vending machine at a juvenile detention center because her baby wanted some snacks. Okay. She went the extra mile. Good mama.
God, it was a fun day for everybody that was there, though. I mean, all those kids, that was just a fun day.
Apparently, it's on camera. So she reached into the open glass, grabbed handfuls of candy, put them all in her pocket. Now, unfortunately, it also sliced her hands when she went in. That's what a good mama she is. She didn't care. She don't care about no glass. She actually then took them with her bloody hands up to where they check in. And she's like, hey, y'all, the machine broke. She told the police the machine broke. And
that
she said
thing about the cameras being everywhere in prisons is kind of a, that's trouble when you are getting in trouble.
She did say that, listen, the reason she took it was because the candy machine took her money and it broke. And so that's why she slammed it up, because she's in a big hurry because she needed to get to see her baby, who's an inmate at the juvenile detention center, Glenn. So she had to hurry and get that candy. She didn't have no time to wait for her money to come back. Okay.
Can you call from one prison to another? Are they ever going to be able to talk to each other again? I don't know.
Hey, Mom, how's it going? Oh, son.
What'd you have for lunch today?
This is another one of those what could possibly go wrong, except for the fact that it's ridiculously funny because she's an idiot. Okay, so this her name is Katie Nicholson, and she posted on TikTok her engagement, and she got married. She had engaged on the beach, and somebody was filming it. I don't know if they filmed it or they had somebody, but anyway, she is an influencer, and she is an influencer for working out, her name is Beast Barbie, and she works out and she posts all of her things. Yes, it is. A fitness influencer digitally known as Beast Barbie.
I'm looking that
up. Yeah. No, see, this is why I didn't want to say it, because she looks like Barbie. Okay. And her fiance looks like Ken, of course. Anyway, he proposes on the beach and she's like, yes. And so what do? I'm sure none of this was rehearsed. They turn around and they're like, let's go in the water. So they rush out into the ocean and start frolicking around while people are videoing, and it's all these things. And then she's like, uh-oh, the ring is gone. It slipped off my finger. She lost her wedding ring after her engagement. She ran out there to frolic around to get this perfect TikTok video and lost her freaking ring in the ocean. And everybody jumps in and is looking. She's panicking, freaking out. And so then she goes to TikTok searching for the ring. And so then you're like, did she even lose the ring, or is she TikToking about it? You don't know with these people. You just don't know. And she's like, there's no way of finding it because it's in the ocean. Okay. We're not going to find this ring, but all these people tried to help her. Anyway, she lost her ring because she was too busy making a TikTok video. I just thought that was funny. I mean, sad. I meant sad. Yeah. 2 more weeks, people. I'll be nice in 2 weeks.
I thought you were going to say she got her hand bit off by a shark. That's where I thought you were going with that.
Yeah. You are darker than you need to be today.
Probably am. Between the two of us, we're just a freaking mess.
We're a hot mess. Now, this one, please don't go darker than you need to on this one. Okay. Let me just tell the story, please. Columbus, Ohio. There is a man who at 3 a.m. started breaking into local businesses. And please don't go darker than you have to on this one. Let me just tell the story.
Right.
I'm preempting this right now.
I'll go on mute. Okay.
Just don't. Stay clean. So he breaks into a bunch of different restaurants and like local businesses. And the last one that he broke into was a pet store. Okay. Now, all this is on camera because all these places have cameras. And it's not like he was sneaking around because he was wearing giant leopard print pajamas and a leopard print robe. And his hair is ginormous. Like it looks like Albert Einstein hair and leopard print pajamas and robe flowing all around him. Okay. So the Petland store was broken into, a couple restaurants and all this. So the police finally got to him by the time he had left the pet store. Well, they're like, we're looking for a suspect who's wearing leopard print pajamas. Yeah. And about an hour and a half later, by the way, his name, you ready for it? Matthew Pancake. I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Because the thing is like Pancakes was sleeping on a bench near Big Lots on Roberts Road. Pancake was doing this. Pancake was doing this. So the officers, this is all on body cam, which I just love body cams. Can I just tell you how much I love body cams? Okay, so the officer walks up to him and he is sleeping on a bench with his giant Albert Einstein hair and his leopard print outfit. And he's asleep on a bench. And their officer's like, yeah, sir, you're under arrest for breaking and entering. And he stands up and keep it clean. They found in his pants multiple amount of gerbils and hamsters. So like, keep it clean. All the hamsters and gerbils were accounted for. So we think, but they found a lot of them. He had stuffed his pockets full of like hamster and gerbil bedding and had all these animals in his pants. And he was sleeping. Keep it clean, stay on mute. Anyway, he was arrested. And they returned all of the animals on the body cam.
This is so hard. So hard.
Hush, Glenn. The officers can be heard talking to each other. There's multiple gerbils in his pants. Sir, do you have any more gerbils on you? The gerbils were later identified as hamsters, but maybe personally they identified as gerbils. We don't know. Okay. So he was treated for his injuries that he suffered breaking into one of the stores. He is arrested. He is in jail and he is scheduled to be arraigned on, well, today. So congratulations.
Okay. Let's just pause for a moment and let everybody get it out. Whatever you were going to say, everybody that's listening, you can say it right now.
No, move on. Next one. Next.
No, I'm saying them quietly in my head.
Okay.
Okay, let me just play this to cleanse.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Do you know how hard that was?
Oh my God, I know. That's why I said just be quiet and keep it clean. Okay.
There's so many jokes though. Where do
you think we're going to end up for today?
Oh, we're obviously going to Oklahoma.
No, guess again. Nice try. We're going to Florida, and I'll tell you why we're going to Florida, because we're not going direct to Florida. Actually, the person in Florida didn't really have anything to do with this. But of course, the story ends up in Florida. We're going to start in New Jersey. Okay, we're going to go to New Jersey.
Well, you know, half of Florida's people that move from New Jersey, so it fits.
Well, Edward King, who's in his 20s, was playing this game. He plays a game called Arc Age. It's a medieval fantasy multiplayer online role-playing game. Okay. So he plays this game all the time, and he plays in a group of people, and you're going to be I hope you're sitting down.
Okay.
He lived with this his mother, okay? In his 20s, he plays a lot of video games and he lives in the basement of his mother's house. So he's like, been playing this game for a while, takes it a little too seriously sometimes, but he made a friend, he said. He told his mother. He said, I made a friend in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm going to go from Newark to Jacksonville this weekend, and I'm going to visit my friend that I met playing this game, Archage or something like that. So his mom's like, that's so sweet. Oh my God, he made a friend. You're going to go visit. Fantastic. Bye-bye. And so puts him on a plane. He flies to Jacksonville, goes to Fernandina Beach. He gets there. He rents a car and he goes to a local hardware store where he buys a hammer, and he goes to his air quote friend's house, which turned out to be unlocked. At 2 a.m., he sneaks into the house. Here's the next shocker. There's so many surprises in this. That guy was awake at 2 a.m. He was walking around in his house. His name is not released, but we'll call him the victim. Okay. So the guy goes from New Jersey, flies, just so we're all together, flies to go visit his friend, what he told his mom, goes to visit his friend in Florida, buys a hammer, goes to his house. No word on how he's figured out how he lived, where he lived. He goes in the house, guy's up walking around 2 a.m. He attacks him with the hammer and starts hitting him over the head with the hammer. And he's like, you are such a jerk. I'm sure he said lots of other things. Here's the next shocker. That guy, the victim, starts screaming, and he's in his 20s as well. And his parents wake up and come out because they all live with their parents. And so his parents come running out. They call 911. And Kang told the investigators that the victim is a, quote, bad person online. And he's not good at playing the game. So he decided he was going to attack and kill him because of video games that they're playing. So he breaks into his house, gets arrested. The officer that arrested him, apparently Kang, the attacker, asked the deputies as he was getting put into the back of the car. By the way, the guy had some lacerations on his head. He's going to be fine. He didn't die. Yeah, because his parents were there. Thank God they called 911. They get him. They call the police. They're putting the guy in the back of the car. And this question is, how long do people get? How much jail time do people get for breaking and entering and assault? That's what he asked the police officers. And the police officer said, quote, I would say, Mr. King, it's going to be a long time before you play video games again. Is currently being held without bond. There you go.
I play video games a little bit, but I never cared that much.
Oh, well, no, because you're normal and you don't live in your parents' basement. I swear this whole Lucas plays. So he has a VR headset that he bought with all his birthday money, and he's been like pulling weeds in the pasture. He's been like game on wanting to get this thing. So he gets his VR headset and he plays online with like other kids, and I can hear them talking, and they're all kids, and like there's like a lot of precaution, but he has made friends with these people online. And it's like a community. Now, the reason we let him do this one because they're very active and they have to stand up. But he takes off this headset and he's like drenched in sweat. It's so much better than sitting there on the, iPad or whatever. So this headset makes him like work out. He does boxing games and stuff. And but he like has this community of friends on. They call each other. He doesn't even know these people. I'm like, where do they live? He's like, I don't know. Like, how old are they? I don't know. They just play together, and I hear them talking. I can hear all their voices. If I heard like someone be like, hey kid, what's your last name and where do you live? I would freak out, but they're like all kids that play together. It's pretty cool. But yeah, no, if he ever gets where he's like getting angry and then wants to go visit one
with a hammer. No. Yeah. No.
With a hammer. I'm going to check his suitcase before he goes.
You did have some dark ones today.
Guy with the hamsters. Guy that beat up. Somebody lost their wedding ring. And then what was the first one I did?
Really break the hamsters visiting. In a post show.
No, I didn't want to hear anything about that.
but they're there.
Again,
it's just right there.
I hope I entertained all of you 2 weeks. And one of those weeks I'm not even going to be here. So you'll get one less week of me being salty.
I have it written down. Now I'm moving, so I'll lose it. So you're probably safe. So
I'll be like, I didn't say 2 weeks. What? It was today.
We apologize for the short show today. That's my fault. We have the moving pod coming, and we have to start getting loaded up. So, but I wanted to work with Jamie today. So it's been a while since we got to work together, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you. So thank you for doing this today. I'll be back next Wednesday with I think Lisa's filling in, and so we'll have a Wednesday and a Friday show for you next week, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. So we have a whole bunch of new shows for you. I know that we did the Tuesday and Thursday shows already, so we'll have a whole bunch of new ones.
They're going to be best of on Fridays and Mondays too. Yeah.
Yep. Friday and
Monday.
Monday.
There will be something.
Yep, there'll be shows. And, we have so many new listeners that haven't heard the shows from previous. So enjoy those too.
People sometimes does this happen to you? Like I don't know what best ofs you're playing. And then you'll play something that people haven't heard and I'll get messages about it. And I'm like, what are they talking about? What are they? And so I have to go back through and see what you played. I'm like, oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There was some,
sometimes I have to
by the way,
listen.
the goat thing's still coming back to get us. I recorded Equine Affair yesterday and Allison had goats that she absolutely loved. And when she saw that we had trashed goats, I heard it from Allison again yesterday. The goat thing's not going away. Goat people, when they like their goats. I don't like you to say bad things about the
goats.
Well, we did
them.
kind of say that we didn't understand why anybody would own a goat.
I mean, they're horrible, but whatever. It's fine. I mean, we weren't trashing them.
Well, you know what was funny though? You know what's funny is she was telling funny stories about her goats, and they all involved them getting out, eating things they weren't supposed to, everything we said they do.
I mean, I'll be hanging out with Ginger, and she's like, "Oh, she'll get a phone call. I gotta go. My goats got out."
Yeah, see, I'm telling you that they love their goats. We never said you didn't love your naughty goats. We just said goats were naughty.
Yes, exactly.
So
stop emailing me about the dang goats.
This is the most controversial thing we've said in 14 years was about goats, apparently.
With all that's going on in the world right now, I love being embroiled in a goat controversy. Like, I'm okay with that. You're all welcome because it could be worse.
I love Goatgate.
Yeah. If that's the worst thing I do all year, God love it. Yes.
Oh, and apparently I had people spitting out their coffee the other day when I threw out the comment, "Do turtles breathe?" Apparently that caused some...
You're so ridiculous. Oh,
we're here to entertain you. And apparently we're doing a good job. Bye, everyone.
Spay, neuter, and gelt.